right now?
Nothing.
Nothing bothers you?
You look at your phone while we're doing this interview, and everybody's seeming disinterested.
Were you looking at notes or texting girls?
Notes.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Me taking time out of my day to do this and then feeling
Dude,
like
I've
I'm
never
forcing you guys to do the podcast.
I've never been more
That
excited to
annoyed
do a
me.
podcast.
Say again?
I've never been more excited. I'm sorry. I had to
Don't
look at my notes.
apologize. You don't
No.
have to apologize. You asked me what annoyed me, and I gave you an honest answer.
Wait, are you being serious about that?
Yeah, that annoyed me.
Really?
Yes.
So if
Is
someone
that surprising to you?
well, if I'm looking at my notes, I have some things personally that I wrote that I wanted to ask you. Not on there.
Okay.
So I can't look at that and then ask you that.
I mean, you can, I guess.
What if someone in the audience is on their phone when you're doing that?
Then they're gonna get the same treatment you got.
Would you call them out?
Yes.
Have you done that before?
Yes.
And how's that reaction?
Good.
They get as offensive as I do?
I don't think you're offensive. I think you're offended.
Offended, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, my fault.
There's no fault. It's fine. You asked me how I felt. I gave you an honest reaction.
All right, my bad. Fuck.
Have you met Izzy?
No, but
Not
what do
really,
you think
no.
of his vibe?
Bro, he's the best.
His vibe's
I saw
dope.
him make a comment at a press conference where he was like, yo, I'm going to do a TikTok dance once I beat you.
Yeah.
And that really just like made me
Threw
not
you
a
the
fan
way.
anymore.
Why?
Is
You do TikToks like 3 times.
I know, but I'm not
like a day.
I'm not a fucking UFC warrior, bro. Like I'm not in the ring fighting against somebody.
Is
You
this?
do TikToks with Gabe. Bro.
Yeah.
Why are you on TikTok?
I'm trying to understand. Like, is this your character? Are you like the hater or something? Like, what's?
Who am I hating on?
I'm just like, I'm trying to understand. Like,
You're hating on Izzy for doing TikTok dances when you do TikTok dances.
No,
with
like I
Gabe.
love Justin Poirier.
Can
But
I
I'm
show,
trying to
can I show
understand.
Schulz your last TikTok
yeah.
No.
before
Yeah,
you delete
Can
it?
you
Show him
explain what the dynamic is here?
Schulz,
Like, you
ready?
guys are like friends with these people. You're the newest, so you could take the shots. Like, I'm trying to understand what it is. Like, you're gonna have to see him,
Bro, that's fine.
This is Steiny's last TikTok.
That's funny.
Yeah. He's got a sense of humor. He's a comedian.
That's funny.
I know, but
You show him the rest of the page.
But that's like TikTok.
But he's making fun of TikToks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
See, he's got a real comedian here.
Yeah.
Real comedian, no? Dap
Yeah.
up or no?
Yeah.
We're not there yet?
Yeah. No, we're there.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing.
No, but
are
he-
you guys friends with each other?
Yeah.
Like,
Why, you don't
genuinely?
get that vibe?
Yeah.
No,
Why not?
because the chemistry is weird.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. It's just I don't get it.
What's confusing
It's
though?
just an
so I can help
awkward
break it down for you.
podcast. It's like a weird thing.
This-
Like, do you guys do you have stories where you like bust balls? Like, are there?
Yeah, well, we usually have a different guy who sits in.
Yeah.
We wanted to have Steve on this one, so
Yeah,
he sat
with
in.
Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Brad too.
Yeah.
He's great. And what, Brad usually drives it or something like that?
What do you mean?
Like, is he usually driving the interview?
Why? You don't think we're doing a good job of that?
No, not really. I mean, it's not my favorite.
Is this a joke? I don't understand.
Right? I don't know. Like, are you guys having a good time?
I was until that comment.
Is this what
Straight
it's
up.
normally like?
No, I mean I was having a good time.
Okay.
I feel bad. I
I
feel like
never-
you came at me a little bit there.
Why do you feel bad?
I just feel like you targeted me. Did you or no? Did someone tell you to do that?
No.
Why'd
I thought
come
you were
at me
just
so
being a
hard?
little annoying.
How?
I think you're annoying.
Really?
A little bit. Yeah.
And what makes you think that?
I don't know.
Oh, it's gonna be like a therapy session.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck?
Are you like, I don't know if you're playing a character or you're having like an insecure moment. If you're having a vulnerable, insecure moment, then I want to like
No,
talk
I mean
about
I'm
it.
kind of playing something, but what?
Oh, if you're playing
what did I
something-
say that triggered you
Well,
to
no,
say
is
that?
it
What did
shy?
I
I
say that triggered you?
Do you find it hard to be yourself?
That's what I do, bro.
Do you think
But I get shit on a lot for doing that.
it's hard to be around people who are being themselves
But
and
wait,
not
what
be
did
yourself?
what did I do that pissed you off?
I wouldn't say I was pissed off. Why would you say
Or what did I do that annoyed you?
you were the one that came back and said that you felt hurt?
I do feel hurt because I feel like you got pissed off at me.
Well, that's what happens when you have real reactions when you're being phony.
When
when
was
you're
I phony?
with somebody
When
and
was
then
I
you get a
phony
real
with you?
reaction, you can't be upset.
When was I phony
But
with
you're
you?
doing exactly what you should do. You should try to get your moments. This is a good moment for you.
Bro, you're crazy. You think I'm doing this for clicks?
Even the way your voice sounds when you say it isn't real.
Are you
Do
serious
you think
right
you're
now?
being real?
I'm
just
asking
try to
you.
be
I
you.
mean, I'm supposed to be connected with you as fucking Mishbucha right now, but like you're coming at me, so I'm curious.
He thinks I'm Jewish.
You are, aren't you?
No.
Oh,
No, you're done. Take a lap.
fuck. Go take a lap, bro.
You would do this to your Jewish brother, huh?
No, never.
Wow.
That we roll like that.
Wow. Just say how you honestly feel. Don't.
I feel good, bro. I think you're pretty
You don't
funny.
feel good. You don't feel good. You feel insecure right now because you think I don't like you.
I do
Why
feel
do
that
you think? Why do you think I don't like you?
because you turned on me like probably like an hour 20 into the pod.
And was there anything that maybe you did to change my energy towards you?
Yes.
Or how about this? Do you think that I gave you a fair shot in the beginning?
You did, but I sent a text during the pod, and I think that's when it turned. Is
Right.
that when it turned?
Maybe. I don't know. Your line of questioning after that wasn't great. But I do sense that you're playing a bit of a character, and I don't have as much of a tolerance for characters as I do for authenticity.
You don't think I'm being authentic?
I think in certain moments you were, and that kind of like irritates me.
In what? Can you give us an
Especially
example?
if it's antagonistic. If you're playing a character because you're insecure and you're just trying to do your best to like exist in this moment, which is a high stakes moment, that's okay.
But can you give me an example of when you felt that I was playing a character?
I think you need attention. I think you're doing anything you can to get attention. And right now you're making this podcast about you, which is the most boring part of the conversation. We have much more interesting people to discuss whose lives are more fascinating.
No.
Oh, fuck. I don't ever want to do a podcast again, straight up.
Even that doesn't sound real.
You might have just retired him.
Oh, straight
No,
up.
I
Why
think
the
you
fuck would
should.
I ever do this shit again?
I honestly can't tell if you're playing a character or not. And I think that that's a real problem. I think it's a real
How
like,
do I know that you're not playing a
socializing
character
problem.
right now?
You don't. You just have to decide if you do. The fact that you're upset makes me feel like you don't think I am.
Got it. Well, thank you so much for hurting my self-esteem and probably keeping me inside tonight. Hope you have a great night.
Even that's not real.
Yeah,
So
like,
real.
You're going out tonight.
You
for
act
sure.
like I'm not going
you're gonna
out.
fucking-
Yeah, you're gonna party. It's okay, man. You're new to this, right?
How long you been doing this?
Entertainment. A while. I think you're a smart
Don't
dude.
get Schulz going, bro.
No, I want to get him going.
I do
You're gonna
think,
get- you're
I
gonna
do
get
think you're a
dusted.
smart guy.
Okay.
I do think you're a smart dude.
Sure.
I genuinely mean that.
Okay.
I think that you.
But what makes you
wanna-
think that I'm trying to do this for myself? Because I don't give a fuck.
I
We
mean,
can
we're,
take this
we're
out.
all doing this for some sort of self-benefit. That's why we're talking
Sure,
on a
but I do
microphone,
this 'cause I
recording
actually
it,
enjoy
and then
it.
putting it on YouTube.
I do this because I enjoy it, though.
I didn't say that you. Two things can be true, right?
Yeah.
You do this because you enjoy it. You also do this because you make money. You also do it because you get clout. You also do it because you get to express your opinions.
Sure.
Multiple things can be true,
Okay.
right? So one thing doesn't override the other.
Sure.
What I'm saying is that if you were being your truest, purest, most authentic self, I think you would have behaved differently in the podcast. You would have got a different behavior from me. I'm not out here to bully someone who feels like insecure. Like, I think that's the worst thing ever. I think that if somebody feels insecure and they're pretending to be something they're not, you know, that's what it is. But I think you need to find yourself a little, man.
I'm just trying to figure out where this took this turn.
We're still talking about you.
Where did this take this turn? We don't even have to have the mics on, bro.
Well, how about this? I mean, everyone's fucking screaming. We gotta go.
I think we
here,
got to
guys.
wrap
All right,
up. I
guys.
think we got to wrap
But
up.
why don't
I
we
mean,
continue the rehab session
listen,
on the
Steiny,
live?
there's nothing. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
About me, I got therapy
Do you wanna
from
come?
fucking
Do you
10
wanna
a.m.
come?
to 6 p.m. I got therapy. So of what you just did to me.
He's cute. He's a cutie.
What was that? This was definitely planned.
You did it for yourself.
Hug it out. What did I say that was so triggered? Did you tell me or no? Is this planned?
I thought you were fucking with me. I don't know. During the pod, there was a moment where I was like, I think this kid is fucking with me, and you know, we can play that game.
Bro, everything I do is like a joke. You can't take it too seriously.
Even right now, you're fucking with me.
I'm not, bro.
I don't know what to do with this fucking kid. This kid makes me feel uncomfortable, bro. I don't know what it is.
This is planned. This is planned for sure.
I couldn't script that, bro.
I wanted to be boys, bro. I don't
Even
know
that is such a weird thing to say to a man, right? I want to be boys. Like, you wouldn't say that.
I can just clarify. I don't necessarily love Bezos. I don't think he's like the most ethical person in the world, but I do think like his process is fascinating, and he's kind of like a perfect supervillain. That's why I said I like.
You take him over Musk, though.
I just like both. I don't know. I think they're like brilliant innovators.
He doesn't even
and, like,
shit
Choose
post.
one, dog.
I know,
Choose
he's
one.
pulling back now.
Well, what do you
Like,
want?
that
You
was your
want
gut.
you want real money, or do you want perceived value?
That's basically what it is. Like,
If you want perceived value, that's Musk. If you want real money, that's Bezos.
but I like Musk's social equity. I think that's such a cool way he built that.
Musk
likes
is
the memes.
genius.
Yeah, I like the
No, no.
memes are great. Like
I think
the
Musk is
Dogecoin
more
shit.
rare than Bezos. Bezos, there will be another badass businessman to come around in 20 years. My dad said this when Walmart was running everything. He was
Yeah.
like, Walmart's going to get taken down by something. When I moved here, Sears was the company.
Yep.
That's America. That's capitalism. I don't know that we're going to see another Musk for a long time.
And girls hate Musk, which makes him sick.
That makes him fire, dude.
Dude, the amount, you almost like him more because girls will be like, he's the worst, he's an idiot. And then before you know it, you're like, actually, he's the best.
Girls say that about Musk.
I feel
So
like
many women don't like Musk.
oh,
Yeah.
they hate him.
Really?
Yeah, he's just super rich dude that doesn't kind of play by the rules, posts like, he shit posts and
I
stuff.
think-
First of all,
yeah.
he I'll tell you what's better
not
about
on
him
my
than
radar. Is
Bezos.
that on your radar?
He
I've
built
noticed
his
that.
company, he willed his company into existence.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about
He's
him.
white Kanye. You know what I mean?
I noticed girls hate on billionaires in the way that dudes will hate on like super hot girls.
Yeah.
You know what I
They don't
mean?
have personality.
Yeah, they're like this dumb idiot.
Yeah,
she's-
or like Kim Kardashian or
this
something.
model's a fucking. And then if she's like, "Oh, you want to fuck?" You'd be like, "Yeah, of course."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would marry you today. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the Bezos thing that's interesting to me is like he didn't invent anything new. He just perfected something that already exists. And I know that Elon didn't invent anything new, but like clearly his technology for electric cars is far superior than anybody else's. Like Bezos is still using the same trucks to ship.
You're saying
the
one of them's
packages.
changing the world in a more material way.
I don't know if it's well, which one is that?
Musk, because you go, what Bezos is offering, probably just by virtue of like progression, we would have had a way to order everything pretty cheaply from one place.
Yeah,
I like a curated ordering system probably would exist, but what Musk is doing, potentially that
The
would
rocket
not have
that
happened.
takes off and then lands again is pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is I'm weirdly more impressed with what Bezos did.
Oh,
because
I had misread, yeah.
Yeah, because there's so much more competition. It's like so many people are shipping packages every single day, right? Like the guy just found a way to make tape not annoying to break when you open the package. Like how did nobody think about that before? Like that enough is more, to me, that's more impressive than an electric car. There's electric shit in cars all the time. I've been driving electric cars since I'm a little kid. Those little fucking toy cars are all electric. Electric car exists. They just found a way to make it bigger. Tape that breaks but also stays together. That's genius.
Nice, yeah.
So he just perfected it.
No. This is the worst take you've ever
Yeah,
had.
I know. But I'll tell you, here's a
It's
pro in
more
Musk's
impressive.
category.
No, I guess what I'm trying to say is he was competing with.
So Bezos did tape, you did yours. Now
No. So basically, he looked at this business that everybody does, right? And he found a way to perfect it. Elon is doing a business that nobody does.
But I don't think
That's
why
not
he's
true.
So
great.
he's competing with nobody.
That's not true. There was
competing with every
electric
car
cars
company.
before Elon.
Yeah, everybody says that. The first one was electric. An
there's
actual
other
electric
car
car
No,
company that existed.
They had a documentary called "Who Killed the Electric Car" because
Yeah, it was the EV1.
Yeah, I didn't know what it's called, but they were around like the early 2000s and then just went away. They got like
Right.
45 miles between charges or 90 miles between charges, whatever it was, and then just went away.
Right.
And
then
other
Elon,
companies have all been racing to this. I talked to a guy at an auto shop who, after our Tesla got damaged,
But they didn't exist, right?
He
I guess
said
what I'm
this guy.
saying.
He said Tesla is legitimately beyond even like engine and battery and all that shit is changing the way cars are made, like the body. It's just everything is done so efficiently. So there was competition in that sense, and everybody's trying to make electric.
What
cars.
was the other electric car company that existed while Tesla was taking over?
Whoever made that fucking EV1, they couldn't handle.
Yeah,
it.
Chevy made the Volt. There
No.
was the
What was
Nissan
the
Leaf.
with just the electric car company? There wasn't any.
The EV1.
You're slicing it very thin now
Yeah.
to say,
How
well,
How
they
is that
only
slicing
made.
thin?
Karma.
We're literally
The
talking about
Karma
electric car
Electric.
companies, and there's only
Yeah,
one.
but it's the
That's my
operating
point.
But
system's
other
the whole
car
thing.
companies are making electric cars. So just because they're not exclusively making electric cars, so because
Not fully-
GM
not
is
fully
so
electric,
big,
not fully electric.
So because GM, yeah, Chevy Volt, fully electric.
Was before Tesla?
Nissan Leaf, fully electric.
Was before
yeah,
Tesla?
before we started buying Teslas for
All
sure.
of those before you started
Whoa,
buying
whoa,
it. Who's slicing it thin now?
They had
Asshole.
before they had Teslas in like 08,
So
07.
Tesla doesn't exist until you buy one?
I don't think there were I don't think the masses had Teslas until what? 2011, 2012?
Are we slicing thin or
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the same
2010,
shit, dog.
11.
They're both there.
not? My point is Tesla comes out and it's one of one. And it's amazing what he did.
He
And
killed the dealerships. The assembly line. Like this
No,
guy
it's
brought
brilliant.
back
It's
the-
brilliant what he did. I'm not questioning it's brilliant what he did. What he built is absolutely amazing, and his ability to play into internet culture and use that to build social equity and have people essentially invest in him. Like he understood that like he is the company. So as famous as he becomes is as valuable as the company becomes.
Yeah.
And we all believe that he is the smartest person in the world. 100%. There's no
He knew how
question.
to pump.
So-
He knew how to pump.
He knew how to
it.
pump. He knew how to pump. And he used the internet to do that. He had to figure that out. And there's how many comics do we know that can't even figure out how to put up their fucking clips online?
Insane.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, and it's right
Horrifying.
there. It's right there for them to do it. They don't know how to
no
fucking
dump.
do it.
He's a pump, no dump guy.
Real talk. 100%.
Pump and hold.
Pump and hold. And he's built it, and that's genius. What I think is that we're so wowed by
Pump
the
and
fact,
spend. I mean, straight up pump it, and then he had now access to billions of dollars.
and then keeps on reinvesting it.
Yeah.
100%. What I think is we're so wowed by what he's doing because he's innovating. He's creating new technology. The electric car is new for us. We're like, oh shit, that's amazing. The rocket to the moon, that is, and landing, that's new. So I think we undermine what Bezos did. I think it's kind of similar to like Gates in a way, where it's just like, I don't know what Gates really made. But the guy made billions of dollars. And Bezos, what'd he do? He found a way to like deliver shit in a day. That's not that interesting. But the organizational processes put together to deliver all these stuff is fucking unbelievably fascinating. And if and you run a business, we run a business. Organizing a business is fucking hard.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker found a way to do it and make it profitable. Like the business makes money.
Yeah.
Elon's barely makes money.
But you're talking about it in two different ways when we talk about who's legend. That's the equivalent of like you're talking about best action figure hero and you go Arnold versus Schwarzenegger and you're talking about their acting process. And I'm like, dude, I like that he, hurts the stuntman. Like to me, I'm saying Elon Musk, like as a like whatever public figure is the coolest.
Yes,
if you're
he's
saying
way
what
cooler,
they actually
yes.
built better, you go, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
And remember,
yeah.
he built PayPal before that. So
Yeah, we weren't arguing who's better on Twitter.
Yeah,
Is that what you thought we were talking about?
it's a huge
When we're
component
discussing
for me.
billionaires, it's who's better on
at
Twitter. That was the
70%.
discussion.
What he said earlier is kind of the same. Jeff Bezos is
Talking
the
about the
best
legend.
businessman ever, and that's super impressive. But I think we're gonna get another one of him. I think Elon Musk is more rare,
Yes, I see what you're saying.
and that's why I value
so.
that. I've seen
Businessmen
Bezos
continue
before.
to come up around, but true innovation doesn't come around that often.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you on that. I think that makes sense. I just hope that we're not undermining his innovation within business.
No, he's a loose cannon, and Bezos has been consistently great.
Yes, but I don't mind that you're a loose cannon.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, his ability, if Bezos didn't pick fucking books, and I think this whole space thing for him is basically his way of going, like, I could do that shit too. I just pick books. Like, I literally, I think it was like, this shit ain't hard. You just put the smart people in position, you organize, and then you have them execute. You see how quick I made a
Have the
rocket?
money.
Exactly. Like, I literally think that's what it is for him. You think this guy's smarter than me? It's not that hard.
Yeah, we
MIT, who's the smart one? Here's more money. You go build it. Oh, we need more money? Here's more money. Go build it. So I think that's what the ego thing about. It's not really about space. It's about people valuing what space is.
Conquering, yeah.
Or just, oh my God, space is so cool. It's Star Trek. You must be the smartest person if you know how to make space shit. Because selling books doesn't make me think
There's
you're
a
that
third
smart.
guy who's
and
trying
if
to
you
go to
don't have a
space, too.
Tesla, Elon Musk doesn't affect your day-to-day life nearly as much as Jeff Bezos. Your day-to-day life is way better for 98% of the population
Because of
Bezos.
interesting. Yeah.
But
yeah.
again, I think that is just like Ryan said, that's the nature of the beast in capitalism. Someone's going to be better than Bezos at some point. It might not happen for a few decades, but someone's going to be better. I don't think we're going to see an Elon Musk. I don't remember an Elon Musk in my lifetime. I remember the Waltons before Bezos and whoever the fuck, Sears Roebuck, whoever that was before that. That's the nature. That Musk thing is just more rare.
Yeah, do you value greatness or like unique greatness?
I think I see what you're saying. The unique part, yeah. They're both great. And Bezos has affected my day-to-day more. I gave back to Tesla.
I like Elon more. I want to like, actually, I don't know. Personality wise, online.
Marry, fuck, kill. Bezos.
I kill Bezos.
No, personality wise, like Elon seems fun online, though in person.
Apparently he's weird. I know people
Yeah.
who know him and they're like, he's in real life, he's like, check out this meme. He's like Beavis.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Apparently he's not like this super, yeah, he's
Bezos
kinda
seems
weird.
more social.
Yeah.
normal.
Like, yeah, he seems more normal,
Yeah.
100%. And what he's doing is also seems more normal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Like, but yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one.
I think we all like the trope of the kooky scientist billionaire guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that's a fucking
Dude shit.
We've been waiting to see that our whole lives. We hear about Einstein, this fucking weirdo scientist with the crazy hair.
Yeah.
That's the closest that I know. If you think he's a fraud, fine, but let's just take it at face value.
Who? Elon's a fraud?
Yeah, a lot of people think Elon's a fraud. I'm not talking to anyone in this room. I'm talking to people listening. A lot of people are like, oh, he didn't invent PayPal, he hopped on the board or whatever. He didn't invent the electric car, he hopped on the board. Apparently, if you dig, it's not as great as it
The
seems.
self-driving
apparently.
cars aren't really self-driving yet. Like,
Yeah. But let's take it all at face value. What he did, he's the closest thing
Is
we've
he
had
a
since.
Nazi?
Yeah, he's a Nazi
Is there a
sympathizer.
Nazi faction
Kid, yeah, he's Ukrainian.
inside Tesla?
So he has a Ukrainian
What
Nazi
the
factory,
fuck
Tesla
is going
factory.
on?
Yeah. But yeah, I
Are
think
they going to stuff the Jews in those holes in the ground that he's been building?
No, stop.
Is that what the Boring Company is really about? Is that
No, it's about.
is that how you clean traffic up?
I knew they'd come back.
Is that how they're going to clean up the traffic in LA? They're taking the Jews underground?
I don't know. No, that's not what they're doing.
Okay, make your point, Akash.
I just think he's the closest thing we've had to Einstein since Einstein in our lifetime.
Yeah,
This kooky scientist guy that's changing the world as far as we know it.
yeah.
That's him. Bezos is.
But if he didn't do all those things, why do you think?
I
that?
believe I think he did all these things, but there's a lot of people who are like, nah, Elon Musk is full of shit, whatever. And then I choose not to listen to them.
Yeah, as a pop culture figure, he's cooler. As a business, if you're like studying businesmen, then yeah, whatever, boring Bezos.
Oh,
probably.
sorry. I just got a
yeah.
tweet that says that tomorrow they're going to launch more Starlink satellites, which are going to give Wi-Fi to all of these cut-off Ukrainians.
Our boy.
Pretty good.
What's Bezos doing? Sending them a couple books? he sent them The Art of War.
So easy to hate on Bezos, man. Y'all are tripping, bro. I think Bezos got it.
Bezos sucks, dude.
Stinks.
Why? Why do you hate Bezos
He's
so
a
much?
fucking dork, dog.
Do you like it?
Elon's not.
Do you like?
Nah,
you know,
Elon cool as fuck, yo. Elon he be bagging bitches. He got mad baby mamas out there.
Hosted SNL.
As
As an African man, bro. I love that.
apparently showed up to SNL with a bunch of sketches he wanted to do too.
Fire. Love all of it. Kooky motherfucker. Motherfucker mad kooky.
Nah, he's more likable for sure.
Bezos sucks, dude.
Yeah,
Well,
I can see it.
we could really streamline this process. Suck my dick, dog.
You don't think Elon does that?
No, not on Twitter. That's Bezos' whole ethos is, if
This is how Russia wins. They just put shit on Twitter, and then Akash is like, "Yeah, this is what's up, dude. These are the people."
No, I don't think that. I do think
you
Ukraine.
gave back the car, you fucking piece of shit.
And
You had a
You
Tesla and
gave
you
back the car.
I did.
You fucking fraud.
Why?
It didn't have enough. We didn't get the good engine. Dove got us a cheap battery. The
What
less
are you
mile
doing?
battery.
Worked well for me.
Yeah.
Didn't know you were going to drive to Philly every
You
day.
got across the country. Where do you need to go? Philly?
Yeah.
And
Was
it
it a
doesn't
pain
go to
in the ass to
Philly?
find
Without
the
charging
stations?
it in the middle of the night, huh?
Is it a pain in the ass to charge?
Yeah, just my wife was
yeah.
driving mad late, pulling over.
Yeah. You see this? Yeah. No, keep going. You just bought up the social media presence, bro. You don't even like what he makes. You don't even like what he makes. You don't even like it enough to buy a new one. Why don't you buy the one with the bigger engine?
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
gonna.
I'm gonna. When?
He's gonna.
When?
I'm waiting on this fucking $8,000 Build Back Better credit to pass. If we're being completely transparent. This motherfucking.
See, you need
what's
the
his name?
government to help you out with
Joe
the
Manchin?
Elon Musk welfare shit.
Everyone
This is
says
good.
Jews are cheap. Indians are way cheaper than Jews.
Yeah. Come on. You can't dangle an $8,000 credit in my face and then take that shit away and expect me to still make the purchase.
DeSantis. Okay, how do we, or do you think that DeSantis can even beat Trump?
Okay, so it's almost at halftime. They're down 37 points. How many times have you seen a team come back from halftime being down 37?
Never.
Not often, right? I was at a game one time, playoff game. Rockets are playing the Clippers. They're up 28 points going into the fourth quarter. It's me and Robert Green out there, 40 laws of power. You remember that day when we were together. He's like, you want to go to dinner? I said, why not just wait 2 minutes? And then they bench James Harden. I don't know why they bench James Harden. Boom. Boom. Rockets came back and beat the Clippers being down 28 with Harden on the bench. I'm like, what? What the hell just happened right now? Couldn't believe it. I've never seen anything like that in my life. So Harden in this case is who? DeSantis. Casey can help him win it. Casey is very unique.
Casey,
you see his wife. His wife is. Have you seen his wife's
I thought you
tweet?
were talking about Casey Neistat, bro. I was like, is he going to do daily vlogs?
Casey, if you watch Casey in a small setting, oh my God.
She's on it.
Talent. Talent like you wouldn't believe. Wins by, attractive, good talker, smart, intelligent, supportive, protective, defends the husband, has the story, can connect with moms. It's a very unique dynamic part that he has. Look, this is the best way to look at who DeSantis is. Who in here is the one that knows the most about technology, shit breaking down, data, statistic? Who is the most analytical, organized person in this floor right now? Who's a person?
Probably.
Mark.
Mark?
I mean,
you'd put Mark. Okay. How well is Mark on camera?
Good.
How great?
He's a star.
Is he?
Guy's a star.
He's a star. Okay. This is the last name. What's your last name?
Gagnon.
Okay.
That'll
Now,
lose you in a
fortunately,
lifetime.
the
Last name
Gagnon,
like
you
that.
said, what was it called? Show called? It's the podcast called?
Yes, Camp Gagnon.
Yeah, and you go to, you listen to 2 songs to get home, right?
Yes.
What was the song you said? The Red Hot Chili Peppers?
It was yeah, Give It Away and then Black Hole Sun
Yeah,
today.
7 minutes to get home, right? 7 or 8 minutes to get home. Okay. Now, fortunately, he has charisma. But in most cases, a guy that can go, like in my case, when I was coming up on Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, I had a guy that was next to me. He knew everything about every product we sold. I could not believe how much this guy knew. He would do laps around the branch, man, around everybody. Couldn't sell.
Yeah.
Didn't have the charisma.
That's my concern with DeSantis.
DeSantis can do laps around anybody when it comes down to policies, Constitution, all this stuff. But he's going to need to lean on his wife for the charisma side, because even yesterday when he's doing the live, he just read for 7 minutes.
Bro, that's the thing. It's like, and I think he's doing the same thing that like Hillary did, which is Charlemagne had an interesting thing about like Hillary when Hillary ran. And he goes, when Hillary ran, she came on the Breakfast Club. And they teased her about saying that she had hot sauce in her bag.
Oh my God, I'll never forget that.
But when he said he was, now, were you just saying that to pander to black people? She took a moment and her like robot brain was about to spew out some bullshit. And then she just went, did it work? And it was the first real moment you've ever seen with Hillary. And everybody laughed. And it was like, oh, there's an actual human being in here that's not having everything like field tested as she's about to say. My concern with DeSantis is everybody around him has told him it's a lock. He's going to win. So now he's playing prevent defense. He's like, I don't want to say the wrong thing that's going to fuck it up for me. Prevent defense prevents you from winning. And I feel like every single thing he's going to say is going to be buttoned down to the T, and you're going to lose any charisma. If we've learned anything, you need fucking charisma. And if he doesn't have it, he can maybe beat Biden, maybe, but he's not beating that fucking Trump
Only
guy.
one way he can beat him. Only one way. Listen, it's so funny you said this. You know what we talked about in the first 5 minutes of the podcast? How only the paranoid survive. Their camp is not paranoid enough.
That's
They're
the
too
problem,
confident. What are you doing? Like, well, I'm sorry. The guy won in 2016, and he is the greatest smack talker of all time, one of the greatest showmen, not been a better marketer than him in political space. He came out of a city, New York, where in the rooms he has to negotiate with, these are killers. You think he's intimidated by going up against a guy like, who are we talking?
He's building skyscrapers in bureaucratic nightmare New York City. I don't think people understand how difficult that fucking
buying
thing
air.
is.
He's buying air. He's buying like, you can't build in the light and this, like that negotiation is not going to be easy. So that's the part with only the paranoid survive when it comes on. But one of the ways that they could be relying on Trump, on DeSantis winning, sometimes when a person comes in and they're a little too confident, they know something we don't know. And I don't know what this is. Listen, I'm not starting anything here, but here's what I mean by it.
Start that shit.
Here's what I mean by it. So if they're banking on the reason why they keep delaying, because they think the law would have prevented them having to even get ugly. And rather, they wanted to delay it so far so Trump gets arrested and he can't run. And then they come out and he says, look, I don't care what you say. If it wasn't for the president, I would have never been a governor. I would have never. He's helped to win the MAGA vote. And I think there's a little bit of that where maybe they were relying on the law to make this thing easier. Now you have to fight the guy.
So DeSantis thought that he was going to get locked up. And then if he did get locked up,
he doesn't have to
he
do any
would
of it.
defend him.
He would defend
and then take all the MAGA
It would have
voters.
been the easiest one.
That's the smartest thing in the world.
It would have been the easiest
but
one.
now he
It's
got
a
to
risky
knuckle
game,
up.
though, because
Now he
you're-
got to knuckle up.
You want to talk about bureaucracy? There's nothing more bureaucratic than locking up a billionaire.
Yeah,
I mean that's going to take a long time.
So do you think the DNC maybe are like holding the real serious shit about Trump? Wait to them to like fight it out in the mud and then make it so Trump can't run?
You know, so these guys are like, well, the Democrats want Trump to be the face. The Democrats want Trump to win. The Democrats want Trump to win because they know they can beat him again. Because the Democrats, okay, cool. Let's play that out. If that's the case, Alvin Bragg, I'm sorry, why do you do that? Oh, because it helps him. I don't know if it helps him, the pictures of him being in court. Yeah, well, you know, with the Mar-a-Lago FBI, what? Because that helped? No, it doesn't help him. What? Like, if you really think he's the guy, help him beat DeSantis.
Yeah,
So they're
don't
not
put the
playing
pressure
that, you know, dark political games of, So, well, DeSantis is really the guy that, he's going to win, and then they're going to go after DeSantis. Or the establishment wants DeSantis because DeSantis is more establishment than Trump is. And it's easier to negotiate with an establishment than it is to negotiate with an anti-establishment because one wants to drain the swamp, the other one is coming from the swamp. That's what some people are saying, right? That DeSantis is kind of part of the swamp. Who knows what's going on? All I can tell you is a lot of this stuff here behind closed doors, there's a lot of talks and negotiations going on that we probably are not a part of, and we're probably not a part of. We're not a part of. But this is the best. This is the one question nobody can answer me. Here's a question for me that nobody can answer. Okay, I had this girl Whitney Webb on, very smart girl. Okay, wrote this books about Epstein. She lives in Colombia. She's got 2 kids. Doesn't want to live here. She feels safer over there. In the podcast, she gets emotional. I don't know if you saw that. She's just powerful. Who she is, how smart she is, but she can't stand Trump. Okay, she can't stand the establishment, but she cannot stand Trump. So I asked her a question. I said, I got a question for you. He says, what's that? I said, tell me the biggest institutions, departments that have made our lives hell since 1963, November of 1963. Why November of 1963? November 22nd, we know what happened. I'm saying November 1st of 1963. November 22nd, JFK gets assassinated. And she says, I said, give me the names, I want to write them down, that made our lives a living hell. Okay, CIA, great, who else? DOJ, great, who else? Well, I would put FBI, but FBI is part of DOJ. Okay, great, what else? NIH, great, what else? CDC, what else? Okay, all of this stuff that we're going through, all these, Federal Reserve, all this stuff that we're writing down. Okay, great. I said, now give me the families in the last 60-some years since November 1st of 1960 that have made America worse, or have made our lives worse. They've had to control the establishment. She's given all these names, the Clintons, the this, the that. We're going through all of them, right? Okay, yeah. Exactly. And then I asked the question, I said, now tell me this. How many of these organizations love Trump? She says the following. She says, I see where you're going with this. I said, there's only, the closest example to Trump is only one other name. What's that?
Bernie.
No, it's John F. Kennedy. Come on, Pat. Let me tell you why. If you look at what these guys wanted to do with the Federal Reserve, with the CIA, with finishing the Vietnam War, with doing all this stuff, we can't do. Are you kidding me? The guy was draining the swamp at the highest level, and Lyndon Johnson was the swamp. He is part of the oil guy. He is a Texas guy. He was supportive of the war. He was supportive of military-industrial complex. And John F. Kennedy's more from the Eisenhower side saying, listen, we don't need to go to war to make all this money with the military. Why do we keep going to war? There's only the closest case study you got to Trump is John F. Kennedy. I'll give you another statistic here. Watch this. When John F. Kennedy ran, his dad, Joseph Kennedy, gangster. If you not study this guy, one of the most powerful men in America the last 100 years, he's kind of like the Moses, what's his name? Who's the guy in New York, the power broker? Peter Moses, something like that. So
Robert Moses.
Robert Moses, yes.
Yeah.
He built New York pretty much, right?
Yeah.
All the stuff that he's hated and loved and admired, all this stuff. So, okay, Joseph Kennedy, at the time he's worth $400 million in 1962. He says, I'm willing to spend every single penny of my life savings to make sure my son becomes a president.
Which son?
John F. Kennedy, not the oldest one.
The oldest one was
He
first.
died, but he died.
And they died. But the plan the whole time
was the oldest.
Was the oldest.
You're right.
Oldest one dies in the war. Then they have to make a fake war story for JFK so that he can actually run. This guy is the architect.
Joseph?
Bro, I mean...
Bro, listen, whoever's...
Why do we not have a movie?
That's
Why do we not have a
exactly what I was
series?
about to say.
what
You need
the
a movie about this guy.
I wonder if they block it because the idea of the Kennedys right now is like this tragic family that has went through all this horrible stuff and we almost feel bad for them. But if you know what that is a motherfucker right
if
there.
you have a script, you're watching this of Joseph Kennedy, send it our way.
$100 million
Info at Valuetainment. We're entertaining that movie if you have a script. Anyways, going back to Joseph Kennedy, $25 million for John F. Kennedy's campaign, okay? 50% of the money for the campaign was raised. The other 50% was Joseph Kennedy's money. Okay, now watch history. How much money who raised, okay? Ronald Reagan put 9.6% of all the money for his campaign, okay? 9.6% of his own money. The guy almost got assassinated and killed. Here we go, the next one is Ross Perot. 97% of his campaign money was his own money. He went up to 21%. He didn't win, but guess what? He caused George Bush Sr. becoming the president. Clinton won. If it's not for Perot, Bush is the president.
Yep.
Yeah.
The director of CIA, he's going to be the president.
That's insane for an independent to get 20+% of the vote.
Plus
It's
percent.
fucking.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I didn't know that how rare that was, and I was like, oh, this guy got washed. And no, that's crazy.
Trump, 72%.
Yep.
72%. Hillary Clinton,
0.
Biden.
0.
They don't have to. By the way, Bernie Sanders is also anti-establishment. But you know what he did? He caved at the end.
He did.
It should have been Trump against Bernie Sanders.
did.
It should have
He
never been.
he got scared.
He caved. And they did something behind. I think they have something on Bernie that he's embarrassed of. Because it should have been the argument that we all wanted to see. Let the two true believers. Bernie's a true believer socialist. You know, he calls it socialist, democratic socialist, and Trump is a true believer. I want to see that fight. We never got to see that fight. That was a fight. Hillary Clinton wasn't really a fight. So when you look at some of this stuff and you say, why are these institutions?
What do you think they have on Bernie? Do you think it's some stuff from him? Didn't he go over to Russia and
got married there? That's when his honeymoon was out of Russia, by the way.
So maybe it's that. Maybe there's something.
Who gives a shit, though?
America gives a shit.
No, I don't think they do. No, I don't think they do. I think
the middle of Russia, Ukraine. Let me
tell you what's one of the worst places to be in. Okay, here's one of the worst places to be in. My opinion. Somebody calls you and they have something on you. You have a major f up, major screw up that you did, and they're like, hey, if you don't do this, we're going to go public with this. Okay, you sit there and you say, okay, this is potentially going to cost me a divorce. You know, my kids, I have to explain to them. It's going to be a very embarrassing moment when my kids here. My friends are going to say, what the hell were you thinking? That sucks. And you're 62 years old. You're 71 years old. I don't need to freaking talk. My legacy will be protected forever. Or if you're wise, you're going to say, they're going to bring it out anyways. My kids are going to know about it anyways. You know what I'm doing? What? I'm doing the, 8 Mile story.
Yep.
I'm going to my kids and my wife and my family and say, listen, guys, we got to have a meeting here. Your father screwed up 19 years ago. Here's what I did. Boom, boom, boom. But I'm going to go and tell the world right now, right afterwards. And I'm going to tell them they came and give me the threat. And this is what I'm doing. And I hope you take value. Now I'm going to come out and say, hey, let me tell you guys, I got an uncomfortable announcement to make. And then I hope you respect the fact that I'm doing this because I don't want to be held hostage.
You show a picture of how hot the girl was.
This is like
listen, look at this. Listen, you would do it too, America.
That's Hugh Grant, right?
Babe,
That's what Hugh Grant did, right?
What did he do?
He got, I think that the actor, he got caught with a prostitute and then went on Letterman or something and was like, hey.
I think they'd already found out, and then he just owned it, and then he had
he reacted to the news coming out. But jumping the gun on that is fire. Going on Letterman to promote the movie and then be like, yo, I got something else to tell you.
Yeah.
Very disappointed. Well, go watch the movie this Friday.
I go.
Quick question about Trump's 71%. I don't know how to ask this without sounding super anti-Trump, but don't we know to not necessarily trust his accounting and his numbers? Isn't he kind of like, doesn't he have a history of fudging numbers?
So can I tell you something here?
So how do you,
So I brought at our Vol conference last year, this year we're going to have Brady, Tyson, and Will Guidara from 11 Madison at the event this year in Miami.
The chef?
The chef, yeah, he'll be there. So
tell him to put some meat on the menu.
What is this stuff? I don't know. Send that to me. I was a little bit surprised by that.
I know.
But it's not him. That's another person that's choosing the menu, apparently. I don't know who's choosing the menu.
He stepped away.
I don't know. I think somebody told me that. But I want to answer this question for you. So you're asking about, accounting, right? Okay. 5 years ago, I'm at the Four Seasons Spa in Dallas, and I'm doing a business planning strategy session, but I go to the sauna downstairs, and this guy's like, hey, man, I saw your interview with this guy. I'm like, okay, so what do you do? I'm an investment banker. Which firm? Such and such. Oh, cool. How much money? Oh, we do this. Big guy in his 60s, late 50s, early 60s. He says, I said, what's the best speaker you ever heard? He says, you don't tell him? I said, I've heard Tony Robbins. I heard Zig Ziglar. I heard this guy. No one was a more life-changing speaker I heard speak than Andy Fastow. I said, which Andy Fastow? He said, the Andy Fastow. I said, Enron CFO, jail, Andy. Yes. How is Andy Fastow the greatest speaker you've ever heard? He says, he came in. This is a CFO of a company that's got 100,000 employees working for Enron. And he gets up and he says, here's how this accounting world works. Here's me recognized as the accountant of the year, CFO. Here's next month, my card ID at the jail. I went from this to this. Now, let me tell you what happened. He said, I followed every single guideline everybody else followed. And whatever everybody else was doing, we did it as well. But we, for the same exact comparison, We got caught. And here's what happened to us. All of a sudden, boom, Enron, he's going to jail. Then they try to get his wife and all this. He does 8 years. Anyways, he comes out. Now he's doing what he's doing. We had him at the event to speak and tell the story, because you have to be careful when you make money, who is on your team. So think about right now Elon Musk's life. Think about his life. He's running Tesla. He's running Twitter. He's running SpaceX. He has, I don't know how many kids, 8 or 9 kids. And he has to talk to his accountant, and he has to talk to his Goldman guy, his Morgan guy, and he has to follow the accounting laws that are changing and how do you, like, so, okay, I'm hiring this accounting firm. Do I hire this forensics to audit this accounting firm before I hire the accounting firm? It is, at the next level, it's very complicated. I'm not undermining anything there. I think the one angle you could have taken is to say, well, yeah, he funded 71 or 72% of his campaign, but isn't that from his father's money? Because his father gave him $1 million or $10 million or $40 million. I can see that as an argument, to say he got money from his family. But John F. Kennedy, some call him one of the greatest presidents we've had in the last 50, 60 years. 50%, all the money was given by his dad. He didn't make his money. At least Trump operated and built some stuff. These names on these towers wasn't his dad. It's him putting the names on the towers. So yes, I understand what you're saying on the accounting side, but I think it's important for people to realize when you're making $500,000 a year, you have a very easy way of doing your accounting.
But also, isn't campaign finance like super strategic? You can't just fluff numbers on your campaign spending. Right?
I'm an idiot.
Isn't that what they're getting him for right now?
That's well,
if you could hide that, then we wouldn't even have the trial.
Listen, if they go that route, there's going to be 50 other people right now running to Singapore to make sure they're not next to investigate them. What these guys are doing.
What do you think happened with JFK?
What do you think happened with JFK? I'm not a fan of Lyndon Johnson. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm always very careful with super ambitious people who are not talented, don't have charisma, and are not willing to work as hard as you. You have to be very careful with them. Very. The most dangerous people in society are lazy, ambitious people. Oh my God, they're dangerous. Distance yourself from them. Stay close. Don't offend them. Do your best to not, get on their bad side, because they're working 24/7 to come after you. And to me, think about John F. Kennedy. Attractive, good looking, great last name. All the women love you. Marilyn Monroe, Jackie Kennedy. You're this freaking guy that you're on cover of every single magazine. And there's this guy named Lyndon. You were a kid. You wanted to be a president. And John F. Kennedy didn't want to be a president. John F. Kennedy, his father wanted the oldest son to be a president. John F. Kennedy had back problems. He had issues. He had things that he was dealing with. He was just a guy that wanted to live a regular life. Just always keep your eyes out on lazy, ambitious, non-charismatic people.
You think LBJ set him up?
If I'm a betting man, of course I can't say 100%, but if I'm a betting man, I'm going to say, 60% yes, it's him.
What chance do you think it was that he was taken out by Russia?
From which standpoint? From the angle of the fact that, he had gone and stayed in Russia and his girlfriend and the wife and all that stuff. Back in the days, they were using this one drug to get you not be thinking what you're doing, and then you snap out of it again. I don't know if you...
MK Ultra
experiments? MK Ultra, experience. So, by the way, this is another...
Now you're speaking on language
by the way,
here,
this is the thing. There's a reason why this guy is I call him one of the sharpest cats in the market, but he's very good at, Schulz is brilliant, man.
What's he doing to you right now? What do you think's going on? What do you think?
Listen,
what game is he running?
He knows when we finish the podcast how big of a fan I am of his. I think he's a modern-day Johnny Carson. I think he's super capable. I think this is a guy that is a very... here's what I'd like with him. This is what I would like with him. It's what he wants. But I would like to see him talk to the average day-to-day people. And that happens at 11 o'clock at night. Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, a show. When Greg Gutfeld, who's very good at what he does.
Shout out to Greg, yeah.
Very good at what he does. He is number one beating out Fallon, Kimmel. The only reason is because there's not a Letterman, there's not a Leno, there's not a Johnny Carson today. Nothing against them. They got a great crew going on. But it just means the product of Kimmel and Fallon is not that good today. That's just all it means. Because you have forgotten how to talk to the regular person in America. So the strength of a Johnny is I can talk with anybody, but most importantly, I know how to talk to America. That's why people love them.
Yeah.
And I think he's the modern day Johnny Carson.
Where was Johnny from? Oh, it was Omaha?
I think it was Omaha. Yeah.
I think that was huge for Johnny. I think growing up there and understanding what everyday people are allowed him to communicate those sensibilities to the people in the highest echelons of Hollywood.
Yep.
And even going back and like watching him, like unbelievably charismatic, self-deprecating. Imagine being like the #1 guy on television when there's 4 channels. We're not talking about now when there's like a million different channels, a million different YouTube. We're talking about you are ubiquitous, right? And making fun of yourself constantly. A joke bombs on TV. Every night you're teasing yourself about doing it. Like a really special person that I wish that this generation could understand how he maintained, like his personal life may be wild and doing some crazy shit.
Married 4 times, all that stuff.
Yeah, pulling a gun out on the dude, banging his wife or whatever. Like just a badass motherfucker.
Yeah.
But what he was able to do and how he was able to keep relatively even keel with having that much influence, power, and adulation is commendable. Not everybody can handle success like that.
You're 100% right. You're absolutely right. And, you know, he was one of a kind on how he did it. So going back to Russia, you think Russia was the...
I don't know. It's just a tricky situation because you can't acknowledge that a foreign country killed your leader without going to war and everybody dying, right? So you have to maybe make up a story that removes their claim to victory from them to protect your national identity. If it comes out that we took them out, you know, like look at what happened with Iran, right? When Trump zapped a dude and then puts the American flag on. It's like good.
And then they bombed a unit with nobody at it. And they said, look what we did, we retaliated.
Exactly.
No, you didn't.
So they had to do that to keep up their...
You're talking about Soleimani, Ghassan Soleimani.
Yeah. So they had to do it to keep up their, you know, I guess morale, image, whatever it is. But I not only, I guess, struck first, but we took credit for it. Let's say we didn't even do it. Let's say they did it by accident. Trump throwing the flag up there steals the story.
He's a marketer.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter.
That's what people said. When you had oil money, you're like, I got oil money. I kill Soleimani. Who knows?
But for real, and that's how you know Russia didn't want the smoke either. Because if Russia did do it, the fact that they never claimed it means that they don't want
who benefited the most. Think about who benefited
the establishment. I'm with you on that argument. I think that you look at like a lot of times throughout history, especially like when you start to delve into conspiracy land. Conspiracy doesn't mean something's not true, but the way that like certain presidents have been attacked, especially the ones that oppose certain institutions that you've spoken about. Like Andrew Jackson is the #1 dude, right?
Ultimate guy. Yeah, you're right.
Jackson takes down the Fed, right?
Yeah.
And the way that we remember Jackson is he's the most racist president ever. He hated Native Americans. It's like, they all did. The idea that we're putting him on a pedestal for being racist and hating Native Americans.
But the way you sell the story to kids, it sticks.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, he reminds me of this guy. And this whole concept with nationalism, you know, how the word is a bad word, being a nationalist. What's the antonym of nationalism? What is the antonym of nationalism? Globalism. Okay, so listen, I'm proud of being I love my country. I'm not going to be a globalist.
Yeah, I've traveled the globe. Don't love all of it.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
I'm a nationalist. I am.
You look like you had a blast in Morocco. Where were we? Morocco, right?
Morocco was amazing.
Like you guys had a fucking blast.
I got the sweater
so much.
So what's the next spot? Where are you going to next?
Can we say? Yeah, we'll talk about it. We're gonna go to. Well, we'll go. We're gonna go to Turkey. Have some fun in Turkey.
Istanbul or like.
Pop into Istanbul, Bodrum, have a nice little summer vacay.
Nice. They have good bookstores there. I think you guys gonna enjoy the libraries and
that's what we're there for.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sure. I believe it.
But I do like the way that Turkey is. I don't know. I just love their role in history, especially like ancient history. You know, you see all these. That's kind of the new conspiracy I'm getting into. The history before history.
The history before history.
Yeah.
Which part of Turkey?
Oh God, what's the name of it?
There's Göbekli Tepe.
There's one site, but there's like this specific area where they have all these. They've discovered all these like cities that are underground, and they've been like carved into the bedrock. And where people would live. And you're talking about some of these cities are so meticulously designed that they went down to the water level and stopped right before the water level. So you had access to water while you're underground and protected from whatever was, going on upstairs. And who knows what it was? Maybe it was meteor showers, maybe it was crazy animals, who knows? But human beings went underground for a stage in our existence, and we don't know why. Go for it.
You guys got to get to the bottom of it. We got to figure this thing out.
But I got to get you down to like a nice little rabbit hole. But this is the cool thing about, I think lately, as we discover more about history, the timelines start to change. You've seen it with like the pyramids and all the Egyptian stuff. You should get a guy named Graham Hancock on your pod.
Is he the guy, the YouTuber with like 6 million subs or something like that?
There's a few other guys. I mean, we had.
You know who I'm talking about? The guy that does these history videos that.
Uncharted X.
We had a guy named Ben Van Kerkwyk on who is fantastic as well. And it's just a bunch of these guys who have studied these like, ancient structures.
Yeah.
And, part of the analysis is we don't think that this is physically capable with a stone and a pick. So there had to be some sort of technology, or it had to happen way earlier and the remnants of those civilizations is completely wiped out, which is kind of exciting. Right? Don't you want to know that this has happened all before? How different are we really?
Yeah.
Like, Mark, you were saying about when you went to Pompeii. Have you been to Pompeii?
No.
But like
Pompeii,
in southern Italy.
Yeah, Napoli.
It was covered by Mount Vesuvius in like 32 AD, giant eruption, and then basically perfectly preserved the city until it was uncovered in like the 80s or 90s.
So it's completely locked in, right? Because it was wiped out in a day. Everybody was hanging out. And then you see how they're living, and it's there's like a fucking dick museum. There's there's brothels and stuff like that. And the brothels all have like paintings of what you can do because not everybody spoke the language. It was a big like a mariner city, but like
prostitutes. They wore sandals with a symbol for prostitution, so you could follow where the sandals were and you could find the prostitutes that way.
They got fast food restaurants and shit, and it's just like, oh wow, a few thousand years ago they're living the exact same way. In many, in certain, with certain things that we are right now.
Podcasting, everything.
Yeah, there was definitely pods going. Super.
Twitter Spaces, there's the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, so, all right, where are we at? We're at conspiracies. You think it was maybe these institutions maintaining power. Okay, come at it from another angle. We can't sit here and believe that like the course of America is plotted in 4-year increments, right? So in other words, like a new president comes in, he's like, all right, here are all my ideas, you go do it. You've run businesses that are incredibly successful. You couldn't have a new CEO pop in every 4 years and then they work, right? You need a long-term strategy, right?
So you don't think 8 years is enough?
What I don't think is that the president makes any decisions.
You don't think he makes any decisions?
I think they let him make a few. I think they let him make a few.
That's a good strategy. You just say what he says back to him, and then he's like, oh,
yeah. I think that's the question. Who is they? That is the fun one right there. Who is they? Why isn't Epstein arrested? They know. Who's this guy who just bought Epstein's island? And why are we letting him buy it? And why didn't we all buy it? Why didn't me, you, Rogan, and other rich people that can foot the bill go and buy the island and then explore it for ourselves? We'll find something there, a retainer case. I guess who is the they? That's the exciting one.
Honestly, if you can answer that question, who is they?
Yeah,
you can answer a lot of different things.
Then they will kill you if you can answer that question.
They will kill you.
Yeah, Andrew Schulz, what a great guy. We're here at his funeral.
You're dressed for it.
Incredible guy. I'm dressed for it.
I can't say much more because they're here.
But yeah, who is it? I don't know. Do you believe America can change? Like, do you don't believe that there's a long-term strategy, that you have people maybe in the State Department or the CIA or the FBI? I don't even know if the FBI would work in that way, but there's a longer geopolitical strategy that's attached to this country. Okay. I would hope.
Play the dark role. What is the outcome? What do they want to do?
Preserve America and its interests.
The dark side? The dark, so
yeah, maintain American supremacy.
Because American supremacy allows their businesses to flourish.
Okay.
Like a lot of people have said that the CIA in a lot of ways operates in the interests of these billion-dollar corporations. And I'm not just talking about like the ones that make the bombs and stuff. Mm-hmm. You might have a corporation that's selling bananas that come from Nicaragua.
Yeah, you control the money, you control the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, all of a sudden Nicaragua wants to make a country out of itself. Well, that fucks up my banana business. Hey, CIA guy, can you do me a favor and
United
stop fucking
Fruit,
up my
who knows?
banana? Yeah, like, and then they might go in there, put somebody else in power, and who knows? Maybe that's beneficial to America in some way. We consume a lot of bananas, and we need them to get out of Nicaragua. I don't know, but there has to be somebody or a group of people, and I'm sure some of them are, connected to politics. Maybe these like lifelong politicians, like a Nancy Pelosi type. It's like, what is she? She's a House of Representatives. She's not even a senator, right? She's
Speaker
a
of the House, yes.
So
She
she's
was.
She was Speaker of the House, but she's in a House. So she got a campaign every 2 years. Really? This old lady's going to run around every 2 years for 40 years to maintain this shitty little seat in the House of Representatives? She got to be part of something bigger, right? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
They just had the meeting, right? The meeting in Europe, the Berta, what is it called?
Davos.
No, not the Davos. There's another one that just happened right now this week where, not the G7, the one where they're all sitting around saying, you'll see if you pull it up, the AI, and they had all these different issues, and they went through. This used to be a secret society meeting where nobody would talk about it publicly. Now they're no longer saying it. They're saying this meeting was being done here. Used to be in San Francisco, I want to say. The
Bilderberg.
Oh, the Bilderberg conference.
The Bilderberg conference.
Wasn't that in like Sweden or Norway or something?
Sweden
like
or Norway. I think it's Sweden. And they wrote out exactly who was there, what the topics are, what the issues are.
Well, there's some good conspiracy stuff about this conference.
Yeah. Zeitgeist. It was in Zeitgeist.
Was that it?
Change or one of those, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
So the whole thing is like, who is they? Are they? Or is there a guy that's like, okay, have those guys sit right next to each other? Why is that person here? Who invited him? Oh, okay, I see why we have him. He needs to meet with him because we need to get that deal because we need that technology here for South Africa because of the deal that we're doing with India. So who is they?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Who is it? And who continues to hire these people? And how do we make sure that we have the best talent? How do those people get recruited?
Do you think there's a couple different theys?
Yeah. No. So I think that this is my hope. And I know this sounds crazy to hope, but like I think that my hope is that there is a group of people that are the theys that we're thinking about, right? And these people probably work for government institutions. Maybe some of them are politicians. Maybe you want some that are in, and they're like the career politicians that you're like, why haven't you done more? Like, why is Nancy Pelosi campaigning every 2 years? Like, you're too famous to campaign. Like, why not why be a senator? Campaign every 6 years. It would just be easier.
Power job, though. Speaker of the House is a very powerful job.
Of course, but she wasn't always speaker, right?
Yeah.
And she's been involved in
wasn't.
politics forever. So you have a few of those people, and they plot the course of America, and those people interface with the billion-dollar corporations that are incredibly successful within America. My assumption is that once you're a Bezos, once you're an Elon, you're a government employee. And not in a bad way, but it's like, hey, you want to keep on gaining money and gaining influence and being successful. Yeah. Google has to talk to the government.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think Elon, his vision with what he's doing is good? Like, if I were to ask you, what percentage of trust do you have that Elon is a good person trying to do good versus evil, what would you say?
I think Elon is a good person trying to do good and the best. I think he believes that he is doing the right thing. And I think that sometimes comes at odds with the powers that be. And I think that's why you see, like, for example, everybody loved Elon. Elon was the darling. There was the left and the right. The left were buying his electric cars, and the right was like, here's this businessman. He's making all this money. We love him. It was the one thing the left and the right could come together on and agree on. And then Elon gave a political opinion. He tweeted, it's hard for me I'm a lifelong Democrat. It's hard for me to consider myself a Democrat now. And just like anytime Joe Rogan says that he supports a presidential candidate or anybody with influence, and you're going to go through this as well, there was a smear campaign that happened the day after, and they were out there, whoever they is, out there trying to make him radioactive. Maybe that's the DNC. Maybe it's not even the theys that we're talking about. Maybe that's much
lower level, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's like DNC to me is like low level shit.
Right.
It's like you're trying to get someone into office. Like, that's not the game we're playing. That's temporary game. Theys, that's forever game. Theys are like manifest destiny. Like, we want to go back. Theys are like, yo, let's buy Louisiana.
Are you saying like Koch? You're talking about Rothschild. You're talking about
Peter
Soros.
Thiel.
You're talking about those types of guys.
I think those are the guys that get to interface with the government employees right? Because you need someone who's actually part of the fabric of the government, and then you have so much success within business that you become part of the government. So Google can't operate on its own. The government needs to know what Google knows, and Google's like, you know what? That's fine, because otherwise I go to prison or whatever the fuck it is. Zuckerberg gets a call. Everybody gets a call, right? Like we even saw it with Twitter, right? Wasn't like the FBI interfacing with Twitter and telling them about it. So we know that they're discussing things, and we know things are going on. And like, to be honest, that's why I think you're in the best position, where it's just like you have generational wealth. Like if you wanted to stop right now, you're good. Your kids will be good. Your kids' kids will be good. And obviously, hopefully you put the values in them to make sure they make these smart decisions. Like you have real freedom right now. You have real freedom on planet Earth. That is fucking crazy. That is like 0.0000001% of human beings even get here. The only way to get there without money is like if you could live off the land. And fuck that. I'm not trying to camp every single day, right? You know what I mean? I want air conditioning. I want a fucking house, right? So once you get to multi-billionaire status, now you get the calls from those theys. And you'll find out who theys are, but you got to be willing to pay the cost. And they might call you and be like, listen, Trump ain't the guy, man. He's messing up these deals that are 50 years in the making. Like he's talking about buying Greenland. We've been trying to buy Greenland from 1905. We think we'll get it by 2030. And he's talking about it now. Now the price is going to go up. And they don't even realize the resources they have under there. But this fucking baboon started talking about it. And that, like, there has to be somebody who decided we need to go from New York to California.
So you think there's an element of nobility in the establishment?
Here's the thing.
Due to money, because the selfishness of making sure to protect the money.
There's a nobility in your business succeeding because the people that work for you also succeed and they thrive within that business. So like you wanting to succeed is going to help them pay for their families and everything. Now, I'm not saying they make the right decisions. They make fucking horrible decisions that we benefit from, and we just get to complain and whine about them.
Because we're on the right side of it.
You know what I'm saying? They go start some war somewhere. We take all the oil. Oil's $2 a gallon. We get to take all that oil, enjoy all that oil at $2 a gallon, and still go, they suck. How they gonna make those wars over there, them piece of shit days? And they can't even complain about it.
So money keeps them honest. Their selfish intentions and desires makes them do the right thing. So, okay, so then the question becomes, are they more driven by freedom, status, or control?
I would assume the latter.
Control.
You could say they're one and the same.
Yeah, they could all be wrapped up into one. I assume these people are patriots. They just have a different way of looking at their patriotism.